So which box? I'm sure the box that is this is what I need to pull from the box.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And how are you all this morning? Are you all ready for an exciting event? You sure? All right, great. So just want to share with you all the Wi-Fi because I know you'll be taking lots of pictures and tagging the CARICOM pages so we could reshare. So the Wi-Fi is, you're listening? So you look for CARICOM and the Wi-Fi is, the password is CARICOM 123, all common letters. And so Michelle, you all could confirm it's CARICOM 123. Oh, and 3 asterisks. You all hearing me? Okay. So it's CARICOM, all common letters, 123 with 3 asterisks. Do enjoy the program.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Y'all not excited to be here at the heart and soul of CARICOM. CARICOM, youth ambassadors, youth leaders, I need to hear you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the CARICOM Secretariat Headquarters as we are here for the training of Climate Change and Health Orientation and Workshop 2024. So we're going to go through a little exercise this morning with you. So the acronym for this event, and those who would have attended CYS 2023, is CCH 2024. And I know that everyone read the emails and it's for the various activities and events as we engage with you the entire week. And I look forward to seeing your posts on social media. And I thank Michelle and team for encouraging us to have this wonderful exercise here this morning. So we're going to go through a chant. So we're going to go CCH 2024. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? CCH 2024, CCH 2024, CCH 2024, CCH 2024. So good morning, everyone, and I look forward to journeying with you. My name is Shakeem Howell, and joining me is Mr. Shafa Jeffries, and we will be your master of ceremonies for this morning session.
Shakeem, morning, Minister of Health, Dr. Carla Barnett, Secretary General, Caribbean Community, Ms. Allison Drayton, the Assistant Secretary General, Human and Social Development, Mr. Dean Chambliss, Director, the Caribbean Subregional Office of PAHO, Dr. Christopher Ora, PAHO UE Fellowship Coordinator, Dr. Hillary Brown, Program Manager, Culture and Community Development, Michelle Smart Bartley, Deputy Program Manager of Youth Development, Shakeem Howell, who is the CYAP Information and Communications. Can y'all hear me? My theater voice so that those of you can hear me until we can get the microphone sorted. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us at Shakeem. Incredible days, information, engagement, advocacy, share with you all while we're here. And we're really, really hoping that you take a lot from these sessions, but that you give as well. It's not a talk shop. We're not coming to talk to you and then you just sit there and look bored and take your little notes and go home. This is about engagement. This is about you hitting the ground running when you get back home so that we can take the message of CARICOM, of climate change, of what we need to do as it pertains to being advocates to our constituents and say, here's how we're making the Caribbean a better place. On the same page with that? Yes? Okay, awesome. So as we get started, I am going to let Shakeem give y'all the welcome remarks, and we'll speak a little bit more about what we're doing as we go through the next.
Thank you very much, Shafa. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, distinguished participants, good morning. It is with great pleasure and enthusiasm that I extend a warm welcome to each of you to the Climate Change and Health Orientation and Training for the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors and Youth Leaders. This transformative event, held from the 23rd to the 26th of April 2024 at the CARICOM Secretariat Headquarters in Georgetown, Guyana, marks a pivotal moment in our collective journey towards a healthier and more resilient Caribbean region. As we gather here today, we are reminded of our profound interconnectedness between climate change and health, two critical issues that demand our urgent attention. The backdrop against which this workshop unfolds, one of both promises and challenges. While significant strides have been made to improve health systems across the Caribbean, the looming specter of climate change threatens to undermine these hard-won gains, placing our people and communities at risk. This initiative, implemented under the auspices of the EU CARIFORUM PAHO partnership, seeks to strengthen our national and sub-regional health systems to effectively manage the impacts of climate change on health of the Caribbean citizens. It aligns seamlessly with our objectives outlined in the Caribbean Action Plan on Health and Climate Change, adopted by the Ministers of Health and Environment at the 3rd Global Conference on Health in Grenada. Drawing on inspiration from the Declaration of Paramaribo on the future
Where's your phone, Shaquem? Oh, shame. I'm using Shakim's phone. So take your best selfie, and I want you to hashtag CCH Youth Workshop. Okay, so you're tagging CARICOM, you're hashtagging CCH Youth Workshop, you're hashtagging CARICOM Youth Leaders. We have a lot of hashtags, but we're doing the social media engagement. The first one is CCH Youth Workshop, so Climate Change and Health Youth Workshop. CARICOM Youth Leaders is your second hashtag. CARICOM CYAP is your third hashtag. Yeah, we're starting off strong. Remember I said we're doing engagement and y'all are gonna be part of the process? I wasn't lying. And the last one is CARICOM Youth Empowerment. I'm gonna go over those again. The first one, CCH Youth Workshop. The second one, CARICOM Youth Leaders. The third one, CARICOM CYAP. And the fourth one is CARICOM Youth Empowerment. So those are the hashtags you're using for the next 4 days. And because you just took your best selfie, I want you to post it. Tag CARICOM so that we can repost it. And let's make sure that over the next 4 days, people see that we're working and they're excited so that when we get back to our countries, they know, okay, something's happening. There's a little bit of buzz in the air. And at CARICOM.org is the tag that you're using on Instagram, on Facebook, any other social media. Post it on LinkedIn too. Thanks, Chanel. Y'all good? Are you seeing the post coming through, Chanel? I'm a teacher, so we're not moving on to the next activity until y'all have completed this one. So once Chanel gives you the go ahead, then we can move on. Good? Thank y'all very much. We'll have more of those throughout the session. So just make sure that your battery is fully charged and your camera is clean.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on with our morning's proceedings, the next thing on our agenda item is our opening remarks. And I now invite the Assistant Secretary General of Human and Social Development Directorate, Ms. Alison Drayton, to give you the opening remarks. Round of applause.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, on this very unusually gray day in Guyana. Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health, Guyana, Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, Mr. Dean Chamberlain, Director, Caribbean Subregional Office, PAHO, and Dr. Christopher Ura, PAHO UE Fellowship Coordinator. And to all of you here, welcome again. It is with great pleasure and honor that I extend a warm welcome to each of you to the Climate Change and Health Orientation and Training Workshop for our CARICOM Youth Ambassadors and Youth Leaders. Your presence here today underscores our shared commitment to addressing the urgent challenges posed by climate change and its impacts on human health in the Caribbean region. As we gather for this important event, we recognize the critical role that youth play in shaping the future of our planet. Your energy, your passion, and your dedication are essential in driving positive change and in advancing sustainable solutions to the pressing environmental and public health issues facing our communities. As we all know, the Caribbean region is no stranger to the effects of climate change, from more frequent and intense hurricanes to rising sea levels and changing weather patterns. These impacts pose significant threats to human health, exacerbating existing vulnerabilities and disproportionately affecting marginalized populations, including our youth. Within the CARICOM Secretariat, the Human and Social Development Directorate has played a pivotal role in recognizing the pressing need to fortify our region's human capacity to withstand the multifaceted challenges of the 21st century. Acknowledging the intricate interplay between social economic development, environmental sustainability, and human well-being, the Directorate has embarked on a proactive approach to bolstering our collective resilience and preparedness in the face of evolving global dynamics. Recognizing this need, concerted efforts have been underway to refine and enhance our strategies for fostering youth empowerment and engagement in climate change mitigation and adaptation endeavors. Recognizing that youth are not only the torchbearers of our future, but that you are also invaluable catalysts for transformative change. We have prioritized initiatives aimed at equipping young leaders with knowledge, skills, and resources necessary to navigate the complex challenges of our time. Through capacity building programs such as this workshop and strategic partnerships such as the one on this with PAHO, we are actively seeking to empower youth to become effective advocates and agents of change in their communities by instilling a sense of ownership, agency, and responsibility among the younger generation. We aim to cultivate a culture of resilience, innovation, and sustainable development that transcends borders and empowers individuals to actively shape their futures. Moreover, our efforts extend beyond mere rhetoric to tangible action as we collaborate with stakeholders across sectors to create inclusive platforms for meaningful youth participation and leadership in climate change adaptation and mitigation efforts. By harnessing the creativity, energy, and ingenuity of young people, we are not only building a more resilient and sustainable Caribbean region, but nurturing a generation of global citizens who are committed to making a positive impact on the world. And let me just say that what I know is when the Caribbean swings, we swing high and we always connect. So I am really putting a lot of faith and confidence that you will leave here networked, empowered, and agents of change. Your presence here today certainly underscores the importance of youth engagement and our commitment to supporting you all as agents of change in the fight against climate change. I am confident that this workshop will serve as a catalyst for meaningful action and inspire all of us to redouble our efforts in addressing the urgent challenges posed by climate change and health. Together, we can create a brighter and healthier future for all. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to each of you, and I look forward to the fruitful discussions and collaborations that will emerge from this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Drayton. And thank you for your faith in us as young people. I think sometimes that's the difference between getting things done and not getting things done. And that intergenerational connection and linkages, that's what's going to carry the Caribbean forward. Thank you so much. I'm going to now invite Dr. Hillary Brown, the Program Manager of Culture and Community Development, to give us a presentation and overview of the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program as we celebrate 30 years this year.
Thank you. And I want to echo your comments about the intergenerational collaboration and exchange, and to say that the older generation, let me say the younger youth, the older youth at the front who were unable to take their best selfie and unable to make all of those posts, that we have a deal that you're going to show us how to get all of that done before this workshop is out. Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health. And I'll let you in on a secret. I worked very closely with Minister Anthony as Minister of Youth, Culture, and Sport. So although he knows a lot about health, he also knows a lot about the youth issues, so you can engage him as well. Dr. Carla Barnett, our Secretary General. ASG Drayton, and other staff members, our chef de cabinet is here as well, Ms. Janice Miller. Other staff members, but especially CARICOM youth ambassadors and youth leaders who are here. It's a pleasure to see you and to have you here in the Secretariat headquarters. And also Mr. Dean Chambliss from PAHO. Our partners are always very important to advancing our objectives. So I suppose that because of my long association and long oversight of the youth program, let me say more than a decade. I don't think I want to give you the exact figure, but let me say for more than a decade, I've been asked to speak to you about the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program, which is a program that is very near and dear to my heart. So last year, 2023, marked a 30-year milestone of the Caribbean community's active engagement with youth through the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program, excuse me, which was launched in St. Lucia in 1993 by the heads of government of CARICOM. The Youth Ambassador Program is the community's mechanism for deepening levels of youth participation and partnership in regional integration and in broad social and economic development. Youth ambassadors, as you would know, who serve 2 to 3 year terms, play a strategic role in advocacy and communication between regional and national levels of decision-making and strategy implementation. You are expected to help to bring national issues to the attention of the regional governance framework and support the translation of regional priorities into initiatives for youth at the national level. The program is coordinated by the Secretariat and facilitated at the national level by departments responsible for youth affairs. And we also enjoy very good partnerships with stakeholders, our development partners, as well as with other youth networks such as the CRIC. I don't know if we have a representative of the CRIC today, the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, UISTAT, our national youth councils, and other youth organizations. The principles and overarching regional framework that guide the implementation of the Youth Ambassador Program are expressed in the Declaration of Paramaribo on the Future of Youth in the Caribbean Community, which you heard the Vice Dean speak to earlier. And that was issued by the heads of government of CARICOM at a special summit on youth in Suriname in January of 2020. And I was actually at that special summit. The declaration, for example, affirms the belief of heads of government that the unique perspective, creativity, the energy, and other assets which young people possess are essential elements of societal change, technological innovation, and development, making them invaluable assets and partners in development and not problems to be solved. The groundbreaking report of the CARICOM Commission on Youth Development 2010, which was actually presented to heads of government at that special summit on youth in Suriname, and which resulted from the work of the Commission, also inform the priorities and activities of the Youth Ambassador Program. And there is also the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan, which arose out of that process. And I really want to highlight for you, CYAs, that the CARICOM Youth Development Goals, which form the centerpiece of the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan, were actually proposed by a CARICOM Youth Ambassador. That was Faranto Donghor from Suriname. It was he who said we need to have CARICOM youth development goals, and those are still guiding our work today. So that, I think, is a very important, tangible example of how young people can influence regional policymaking and programming. Over the past 3 decades, in terms of the contribution of the program, we have seen several positive outcomes and achievements. Our youth ambassadors have and continue to represent national and regional priorities at a plethora of regional and international meetings in areas such as gender-based violence, youth development, agriculture, and crime and violence. The capacity building program that will unfold this week in climate change and health is especially welcome as our survival as small island developing states relies to a great degree on our leadership and our advocacy and of our youth on this pressing agenda. Our youth ambassadors have been actively engaged in the implementation of regional projects like CIBO, the Creativity for Employment and Business Opportunity, which is the region's homegrown youth entrepreneurship program that was rolled out in 15 member states. Youth ambassadors have supported and participated in CariFesta, which is our regional mega festival of the arts, and also supported and worked very closely with PANCAP, the Pan-Caribbean Partnership on HIV and AIDS, to address many of the issues when HIV and AIDS was of great concern to the region. CYAs have and continue to serve in the planning and implementation of many regional meetings and events, notably 3 regional meetings on crime and violence that have been organized over the past decade by member states and our partners. We have had many committed, talented youth leaders who have served as ambassadors and now constitute a large regional network of former CYAs who continue to articulate and show commitment to regional cooperation and development in their respective fields of endeavor. And of course, we have had several politicians. We recognize that we need to better leverage this important network of, shall we say, influencers who have been groomed as advocates for regional integration and development. However, notwithstanding our successes, we do have a number of implementation challenges. In order to boost the impact of the Youth Ambassador Program, we need adequate and predictable funding for activities and to provide direct support to CYAs at national and regional levels. We need to ensure that we build the capacity and the skills of the core through consistent orientation and training programs like this one, so they can maximize their impact. And we also need to entrench youth participation in the organs and bodies of CARICOM, including at the highest organ of the community, the Conference of Heads of Government. And as has been recognized by the Commission on Youth Development, this is necessary to mainstream the perspectives and contributions of youth in regional decision-making and policy development and coordination. So I close by joining with ASG Drayton in extending a really very warm welcome to our CARICOM youth ambassadors and other youth leaders to the Secretariat, and especially if this is your first visit, and hope that you will find it to be very valuable and a very memorable experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. And as we move smoothly along with this morning's proceedings, and Dr. Brown made a very key mention that it's our 30th anniversary and that we were highlighting some of the achievements of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Corps. And the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors actually came together and selected a team, Connecting Youth, Advancing CARICOM, as our theme for the 30th anniversary celebrations. And now I invite the Director of the Caribbean Sub-Regional Office, PAHO, Mr. Dean Chambliss, to bring his remarks. Thank you.
I commend the Secretariat for ensuring that as the future leaders of the CARICOM region, you recognize the vital role that you can play in identifying and implementing effective mitigation strategies while reducing the negative impacts of climate change and related health challenges. You are no doubt, like other Caribbean citizens, noticing the diminishing coastlines in your countries. You are much younger than me, but you too may be affected by the scorching temperatures predicted this year to again break records. Perhaps you, your family, or friends have been affected by severe weather systems or flooding. The Caribbean is no stranger to the devastating impacts of climate change. From powerful hurricanes to rising sea levels, this region faces unique challenges that threaten the health and well-being of our communities. But amidst these challenges lies an opportunity for our youth to rise as leaders and champions of positive change. There is no doubt youth empowerment and participation is critical to strengthening climate-resilient health systems in the Caribbean. Working collaboratively, trained, empowered, passionate, and energetic young people can stir communities towards action to help ensure that we take sustainable steps to address climate change and health. Youth empowerment and participation are not just buzzwords. They are essential components in our fight against climate change and the development of resilient health systems. Why, you may ask? Firstly, youth bring fresh perspectives and innovative solutions to the table. They see the world through a different lens, unencumbered by the status quo. By empowering our youth, we unlock a wealth of creativity and ingenuity that can drive meaningful progress. Secondly, youth are the torchbearers of tomorrow. Investing in their education, skills, and leadership today ensures a sustainable future. By engaging our youth in climate resilience efforts, we not only strengthen our health systems, but also lay the groundwork for a more resilient and prosperous Caribbean in the decades to come. Furthermore, youth empowerment fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility. When they are actively involved in decision-making processes, young people feel a greater sense of accountability for the well-being of their communities. This sense of ownership can translate into action as empowered youth take the lead in advocating for policies and initiatives that preserve health in the face of climate change. However, despite the undeniable importance of youth empowerment and participation, challenges remain. Too often, our youth face barriers such as lack of access to education, limited opportunities for engagement, and systematic inequalities. As leaders and stakeholders, it is our duty to break down these barriers and create an enabling environment where every young person can thrive and contribute meaningfully to our collective future. At PAHO, we are working in this region to support member states in developing innovative strategies and investment plans to tackle climate change and its impact on health. PAHO has been supporting countries in the implementation of the Caribbean Action Plan on Health and Climate Change through partnerships under the PAHO EU Care Forum, Strengthening Resilient Health Systems in the Caribbean Project, and the Green Climate Fund Caribbean Readiness Project. Both of these projects have the expected outcome of reducing the negative health consequences associated with climate change. Several achievements have already been made in the creation of health national adaptation plans, or HNAPs, capacity building for the preparation of concept notes and surveillance, and the strengthening of climate change leadership. The intersectoral and multidisciplinary approach of this project is in direct response to the significant risks to the health and well-being of people living in the Caribbean. Projections indicate that climate-related threats to small island development states, or SIDS, will continue to increase, further affecting the ability of health systems to protect health. We therefore need to work harder on the front. Focus on research and monitoring efforts to better understand the specific health impacts of climate change in the Caribbean context, and to inform evidence-based decision-making. Enhance early warning systems that can alert communities and healthcare providers about impending climate-related health hazards. Prioritize public education campaigns to raise awareness about the impacts of climate change on health. Promoting adaptive strategies and encouraging behavioral changes to reduce vulnerability. Prioritize climate change adaptation and resilience planning in the health sector. Strengthen healthcare systems to improve their capacity to respond to climate-related health challenges. Foster interdisciplinary collaboration among sectors, including health, environment, and disaster management, that can help in the development of comprehensive and integrated approaches. And last but not least, actively participate in regional and international dialogue on climate and health, to share best practices, access funding opportunities, and leverage collective efforts to address shared challenges. We believe that by jointly taking these proactive measures, we can help protect vulnerable populations and build a more resilient and healthier future for the people of our region. I therefore encourage you to educate yourself on climate change and health. Discover an area that you are passionate about and contribute to this urgent call. In conclusion, the critical role of youth empowerment and participation in strengthening climate-resilient health systems cannot be overstated. It is not only a matter of necessity, but also a matter of justice and equity. Let us harness the passion, energy, and potential of our youth to build a brighter, healthier, and more resilient future for the Caribbean. Thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you for inviting Papa to be part of your journey.
Thank you to Mr. Chambliss for his message. PAHO has funded the project. They've come on board and given us a lot of support, both in terms of the funding, but also in terms of the technical support and capacity building. And so we really would not be here without them. And so we appreciate their input and their insights as always. And as he mentioned, we are the future as young people, and having us as part of this process is integral. I am now going to introduce Dr. Christopher Ora of the PAHO UE Fellowship. He's a coordinator, and he'll come and speak to us more about that process.
Thank you for Michelle for giving me the chance to say a few words. I hope you can hear me. I'm sorry I can't be with you in Guyana. I always enjoy coming to Guyana and visiting the country. So it's a pleasure to speak a little bit about our Climate Change and Health Leaders Fellowship Program, which we've been running on the project that Dean Chambliss has just talked about. And really, I want to just say a couple of words to emphasize the importance of how our fellows will need and want to work closely with you as CYAs going forward. And many of you know a little bit about the fellowship program, but we're building a network of multidisciplinary professionals from multiple sectors across 16 Caribbean countries, and giving the fellows the knowledge and skills and confidence to lead and implement change. It was really great when I saw a picture. I was sent a picture over the weekend of a climate change and health meeting in Jamaica, where some of our fellows were lined up and they were all playing an integral role in the meeting and pushing forward the heat index elements of climate change at that meeting. So currently we have fellows in Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, Bahamas, Democratic Republic, the DR, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Belize, Antigua, St. Vincent, and Haiti. And I know we also have CYAs in many of these countries. And all these fellows, like you as CYAs, are carrying out projects in their own country and running symposia. And next month, we have a big meeting, a big workshop in Barbados, where all 24 of our fellows, the first 4 cohorts, are celebrating the graduation of cohort 3 and the start of cohort 4. So this is a big opportunity for all the fellows to meet, build relationships and friendships, and plan ways forward with the fellowship. And I'm very pleased to say that we also have 5 CYAs attending this workshop. So we hope that we can work out, we can have conversations and work out with you as CYAs how you and us can support each other going forward, how you can tally up and link up with fellows and support each other in your home countries. And we look forward to hearing about this meeting from you at our meeting in Barbados, and working very closely with you going forward so we can support each other through the 2 programs. So thank you very much, Michelle, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words about the fellowship, and I'll now hand back to Mr. Hall.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ora, for those remarks. As we continue, we'll now welcome the Deputy Program Manager of Youth Development, Ms. Michelle Small-Bartley, who will give us an overview. Can I have a round of applause?
Allow me to adopt the protocol that has already been set. Good morning, everyone. It's indeed, that good morning doesn't sound good at all. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. You see, I have to get some energy from you guys. Now, Marcus Garvey asserted that it's only through the liberation of mind and body that learning takes place. So today we will embark on learning and empowerment of the whole process of our CYAs, or CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, and other regional youth leaders. So I just want to indulge you a little bit in the journey that we're going to go on as I give you a synopsis of some of the things that has actually taken place. The partnership between PAHO and CARICOM, initially slow, but eventually it materialized, ultimately solidified around a shared understanding that young people are pivotal agents of change, instrumental in driving forward a sustainable future. In alignment with the CARICOM Secretariat's strategic goal to empower our youth, we began the journey in 2021, and this was in the midst of COVID. We had an intense training by Dr. Volkman and Deidre, and we have him in the audience here. And I think Dr. Diaga, I think that's the pronunciation of her name, she's actually online. We had an intense training that looked on enhancing the capacity of our youth ambassadors and other regional youth leaders to effectively engage in climate change initiatives. The training led to a transformative initiative by our valiant youth ambassadors from Trinidad and Tobago and St. Vincent, who was supported through the European Union and PAHO. In Trinidad, and I wanted to pay attention to these projects, in Trinidad and Tobago, led by our former dean, Renee Atwell, she led the project called the Eco Restorer Project. This provided young individuals with essential education on the benefits and significance of recycling. Implemented as a recycling entrepreneurship incubator, the initiative equipped participants through a thorough understanding of recycling process, its role of mitigating climate change, and how to transform recycled material into viable business opportunities. Of course, there's no hard work, or there should be no hard work without rewards. So the participants entered into a competition. The Renew crew secured the third place. The competition launched a business driven by urgent needs to address the severe impact of climate change on global bee population. They highlighted the distressing fact that, and I quote, 1 in 6 bee species is regionally extinct and more than 40% of bees are vulnerable to extinction, end of quote. Motivated by these grim statistics, they devised a plan to use an upcycled plastic bottle to create portable apiaries. And the group innovative project tackled both the issues of plastic pollution and the critical decline of honeybees, repurposing plastic waste into sustainable apiaries that produce locally sourced honey and honey-related products for health-conscious consumers. Their presentation concluded with a compelling call to action. And I quote, "Together we can combat plastic pollution and create sustainable future, one beehive at a time." Now in second place, the Trinidad and Tobago Eco Warriors presented a social enterprise aimed at minimizing waste and fostering community empowerment. They proposed teaching women how to craft jewelry from recycled materials such as plastic, glass, metals, and fabric scraps. Highlighting the overwhelming presence of plastic waste, which constitutes 90% of the solid waste in landfill, the group underscored the detrimental effect of plastic on the marine ecosystems and its role in exacerbating regional and global flooding. Their business model focused on threefold benefits of upcycling, transforming waste into styles, distinctive accessories, reducing landfill waste, and creating job opportunities for women, thereby enhancing their economic independence and community standing. Our third place winner, Woman of Waste Reproduction, their proposal was on upcycle wine and liquor bottles used to make stylish, customized drinking glasses. Powered by their mission, and I quote, "Reduce glass waste and promote a sustainable economy," the group created their project to provide eco-shoppers unique gifts, retailers, and collectors with beautiful, sustainable glassware. The competition judged based on their marks for their business idea, including their plan to increase product offering in the future and create large glass items such as serving dishes and light fixtures. Our second project, done in St. Kitts and Nevis, and was led by Dwayne Hendricks. The project was reduce methane emission through household waste management. The group of young people embarked on transformative journey into a world of composting. This project was driven by a goal of educating the youth on the multitude of environmental benefits associated with composting, such as reducing greenhouse gas emission, combating soil erosion, enhancing drought resistance, and improving soil, water, and nutrition retention. Over the course of 6 months, the participants, with guidance from technical experts, dedicated themselves to nurturing their compost piles. They meticulously monitored temperature and moisture level to ensure optimal conditions for compost development. Through the hands-on experience, the participants not only grasped the critical importance of composting, but also mastered the technique of sustainably growth and maintain compost piles. The initiative design allowed a cyclic benefit system. Participants used kitchen scraps and other biodegradable materials from their homes to gradually enrich their compost piles. This nutrient-rich organic fertilizer was then utilized in the kitchen gardens, fostering the creation of sustainable mini ecosystems. These gardens are more than just food sources. They represent a sustainable practice that participants and their families can nurture and benefit for years to come, contributing to actively healthier lives and sustainable environments. However, at this point in time, it is important for me not to omit or neglect the fact that we had the contribution of our Turks and Caicos youth ambassador. Although this country was not under the project, the ambassador would not have gone without making her contribution. And so, as much as she did not have funding, she went ahead to create a project called the Green Project. The project began with a 3-day workshop, and this was online because, of course, school, everything was happening online. She focused on building the awareness of the critical link between climate change and health among high school students. Following the educational session, the students engaged in a practical application of their newfound knowledge by participating in a beach cleanup, directly contributing to environmental conservation in their community. Today, as we stand on the brink of a new chapter with our new cohort of CYAs, fueled by their passion and determination, we are thrilled, absolutely thrilled to announce that in our midst we have Antigua and Barbados, Grenada, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago, who have actually created their proposal and have made steps in joining in the discussion in terms of how they can actually implement these projects. These proposals signifies their unwavering commitment to advancing the crucial work of addressing climate change and health action within their respective countries. Certainly, in our ongoing effort to ensure the capacity of our youth ambassadors, we recognize the importance of not only strengthening existing competencies, but also igniting passion for action among our youth leaders. As we progress with the orientation and training this morning, we will take the approach of strengthening existing passion and competencies of those with proposals. Through intense training, we will also introduce a citizen science approach to empower our youth ambassadors and youth leaders to identify their community needs. Through this approach, participants will be equipped with tools and knowledge to design projects tailored to address these needs, fostering sustainable solutions and impactful change within their communities. Now, as I close, just as a house is constructed brick by brick, firmly led to withstand the trials and the external factors in the environment. We too do try to fortify your competencies as youth. Today, we embark on a journey to empower them, to empower you, equipping you with the skills and knowledge necessary to emerge as resilient leaders of tomorrow. Like the foundation of a grand edifice, their strengthening abilities will serve us as a bedrock upon which our collective future will be built. I look forward to engage with you all. I look forward not only for you to come and to take selfies, but I also look forward to see the change, the transformation that will take place in the growth that you will make over the next few days. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm looking forward to seeing the projects that are coming up. And as a communications consultant, I will be bugging you for information so that I can share what you're doing with everyone else. Proud to have been a former CYA and really excited to see what y'all are doing. Goosebumps, y'all are amazing. So we're gonna take a short break to have some entertainment as we continue with the program's proceedings. So I'm gonna welcome the musician, the artist, to come and share their gift with us. As part of the process, we're going to have Ms. Latifa Agard present to us. Thank you.
Mother Earth, the mother that keeps on giving, provides space for mankind to live in. Oh, I can't begin to explain this mother's pain, for I will not remain vocally maimed and silent as mankind becomes violent towards Mother Earth. Oh man, it hurts to see the degree to which we wantonly abuse the earth. I refuse to contract that fact and act like all is well when the wells of the earth are drying up, as we continue our piling up of refuse, as we refuse to take heed the dangerous seed we are planting. Please, please stop. Please stop. Can't you see? It will take you and me to treat mommy right. You don't have to be bright to know when you throw garbage, you will reap carnage in return in the form of hurricanes and storms. If you look at the stats, you will see over the past 40 years, the Earth's temperature has risen drastically. Based on research and observation, 8% of 25,000 species are in danger of extinction. Although it is within mommy's nature to create a livable space for all creatures, if we treat her like trash, her tsunami of tears will wash and crash us as dust becomes cyclone and the ozone is so worn that the sun's kiss will become a bliss that would not miss the surface of our skin, all because of our sin against our mother. Please come gather, come together and listen to my plea as we take responsibility for the care of our mommy. For she is lonely and no one seems to care. And no one seems to share concern for her well-being, although we are all seeing the signs right before our eyes. Please, people, be wise and realize your transgression of carbon emission and other related pollution will trigger a reaction from mommy that will have an impact on all and sundry, from neighborhood to country and the global community. Man, this ain't funny. This threatens the core of our existence because of our persistence to be reckless as we refuse to spread less mess. When will we confess that we are the problem? When will we see that we are causing the earth injury, and as mommy suffers, the sun will become hotter and the tears from her cries will see the sea level rise. Don't be surprised when the coastline disappears right before our eyes and the ocean swallows our keys whole, because our defenses can no longer hold back the rise and flow of the river, which affects the farmer's ability to deliver, because his crops are washed away as poverty says, hey, I'm here to stay. Oh man, I pray we open our eyes and see mommy as a prize that we need to protect and care for. I hope you agree with me. Please concur. Her well-being is within our best interest. For a sickly taste in her mouth can result in a prolonged season of drought, wildfires in the east, west, north, and south. It is abundantly clear and beyond a shadow of a doubt that the adverse change in climate is caused by the human primate. Oh, I hate that we pretend when in the end it will come back to haunt us. For climate change is not just a change in atmospheric conditions, but rather it threatens the extinction of the human race as we try to stay apace of floods, forest fires, and hurricanes that ravage from inland to coastal plains, not forgetting monsoon, torrential rain. Man, when will you use your brain and train yourself to inculcate habits that are eco-friendly and easy on mommy, or else the consequences would be deadly. Oh, Mother Earth, we beg thee, please, for our environmental sins and inequity. Thank you.
Ooh, that was chilling. in a good way. Thank you so much. In poetry, we snap. So thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. I will now welcome the Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health, to share remarks with us.
Secretary General, Assistant Secretary General, other esteemed guests, CARICOM youth ambassadors, friends all. Sitting in the audience and listening about this program, I recall back in 1993 that I was part of the first set of people who actually helped in putting together this CARICOM Youth Ambassadors program. That's quite a while ago. But you have come a long way, and I was just asking Dr. Brown, when did this all start? And it seems like just yesterday that it's already 30 years. But thank you for allowing me to speak on climate change and health and how to build resilient health systems. I'm afraid that there isn't much new to add. The science is known. Mitigation and adoption globally are constrained, and emissions continue uninterrupted at 1,337 tons of carbon dioxide per second. Inevitably, this is leading to a hotter world. In 2023, the world experienced the highest global temperatures in over 100,000 years, leading to an 85% increase in heat-related deaths for people over 65. And if you compare that between the periods of 1900 and 2000, the effects of climate change affect not only our natural systems, but also our livelihoods. The amount of global landmass affected by extreme droughts have risen significantly from 18% in 1951 to 1960 to 47% in 2013 to 2022, putting water scarcity, water security, sanitation, and food production at risk. This has led to a rise in moderate and severe food insecurity, with an additional 127 million people affected in 2021, as compared to the period between 1981 and 2010. The changing climatic conditions also put populations at risk for infectious diseases, such as malaria, dengue, Zika, chikungunya, and West Nile viruses, among others. In the region of the Americas, 4.8 million cases of dengue have been reported so far in 2024. This represents a 260% increase compared to 2023, and a 448% increase compared to the average over the last 5 years. With humans increasingly encroaching on animal habitats, it is more likely that pathogens previously affecting only animals can now jump into the human populations. This would put an increased risk for future pandemics. Climate change has several indirect effects as well, including economic loss due to extreme weather events. And according to reports, between 2018 and 2022, the economic losses amount to 264 billion US dollars. But in 2022 alone, the losses due to extreme weather events were as high as 863 billion US dollars. The changes in climate change that we are currently experiencing are primarily due to human activity on the planet. And as was so vividly demonstrated by the skit or the poem that we just had. And this has led to CO2 increases. It has led to greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, causing global warming. And as a result of global warming, we are witnessing the rising sea levels. We are witnessing a change in ocean chemistry, destruction of habitats, increased transmission of diseases, reduced productivity of arable lands, scarcity of clean water, and an increase in natural disasters such as drought, heat waves, hurricanes, and flood. And it is against this backdrop that we have to develop a system that allows us to adapt and mitigate against these changes. Guyana has set an ambitious goal to protect 99.5% of its 18 million hectares of forests, which stores over 19.5 gigatons of carbon dioxide. This is part of the country's low carbon development strategy for 2030, which outlines plans to create new incentives for a low carbon economy, protect against climate change and biodiversity loss, stimulate future growth through clean and low carbon development, and align these objectives with global climate and biodiversity goals. Guyana Forest plays a crucial role in reducing greenhouse gas emissions by removing 154 million tons of carbon dioxide every year from the atmosphere, making this a very valuable global asset. To further support this effort, Guyana aims to maintain deforestation rates at below 90% below the global average, and to regrow approximately 200,000 hectares of forests. The economic value of Guyana's ecosystem, the value that we provide to the world, is estimated at US $40 to $54 billion annually. Yet, it is challenging to receive fair compensation for what we are providing to the world. Nevertheless, in 2009, we were able to have an agreement signed between Guyana and Norway. And this was one of the agreements championed by President Jack Deo at the time, which resulted in the country receiving 212 million US dollars. And over the period of that grant that we received, we were able to use those resources to do Amerindian development. We were able to spend some of the money, about 55.8 million, for adaptation and climate resilience. We used some of it for job creation in the hinterland of Guyana. About 85 million was used on renewable energy. For sustainable land management, we use about 14.8 million. And for the natural resources development and monitoring system, we spent another 14.4 million US dollars. Guyana has also been at the forefront of the sales of carbon credit. And in 2002, the ART Secretariat approved the issuance of 33.5 million jurisdiction scale credits for Guyana. And we were able then, having been certified, to get the HES Corporation to agree to purchase 2.5 million carbon credits annually from Guyana between 2016 and up to 2030 for at least $750 million US. Guyana has also taken steps to prepare every sector to cope with the effects of climate change. In the area of health, the country has formulated a One Health strategy that takes into account the environment, health of humans and animals. Additionally, we are in the process of developing a disease surveillance system that would provide real-time information on infectious diseases to detect instances of pathogen jumping from animals into the human population. We have also improved our laboratory systems with decentralized diagnostic capabilities and have improved our national reference labs so that we can do advanced testing such as gene sequencing. Guyana is also fast embracing digital health through telemedicine services. We are able now to provide teleconsultation to a number of hinterland facilities, and by the end of this year, we'll have teleconsultation in at least 75 health centers across Guyana. We also provide telepsychiatry and teleophthalmology and telepathology services. We also provide teleradiology, and we are using these platforms to teach nurses and nursing assistants. Later in the year, the country would start the rollout of an electronic health record system. And we are also working on the transformation of our health infrastructure. Currently, we have 13 new hospitals under construction. And with this additional capacity, we're ensuring that we'll use smart technology in the construction of all of these hospitals, reducing our carbon footprint. There are numerous innovations that we're using in these facilities, and therefore it might be something that the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors might want to come and have a look at. Mitigating and adapting to climate change can seem as a daunting task, but Guyana has many great practices that can serve as examples to the rest of the Caribbean. Our youth ambassadors represent the forefront of change. They are the catalysts of innovation and protectors of our future. It is crucial that we acknowledge and nurture their potential as agents of transformation in building resilient community. We therefore have to continue to empower them, to make sure that we educate them to understand the relationship between climate change and health, that we enable them to advocate for evidence-based policies and practices, and that we allow them to participate in decision-making processes and invest in education and capacity building initiatives that enable them to lead sustainable initiatives. To the youth, to the ambassadors here, your energy, creativity, and passion are invaluable assets in our quest for a healthy and more resilient Caribbean. Seize the opportunity that you have before you during these days and beyond to make your mark, to inspire change, and to shape the future of our region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. And we also like to extend our gratitude to you for your donation of our welcome packages, and we truly appreciate them. And all those in attendance, you can collect them at the back afterwards. Thank you. At this stage, we now welcome our Secretary General of the Caribbean Community, Dr. Carla Barnett, to make the keynote address.
Good morning, everyone. It's been a really exciting set of presentations this morning. I was particularly touched by the spoken word presentation. It's really a call to action for all of us to ensure that we live our lives in a way that does not negatively affect the earth that we all have to live on together. Honorable Frank Anthony, Minister of Health of Guyana, representatives of international organizations, Ms. Alison Drayton, ASG, and other staff of the Secretariat, CARICOM, youth ambassadors and youth leaders, all young people of the region. I am pleased to speak with you today as we convene the Climate Change and Health Orientation and Training Workshop for Caribbean community youth ambassadors and youth leaders to address the intersecting challenges of climate change and health. This workshop will seek to strengthen the platform for knowledge exchange, capacity building, and most importantly, collaboration among CARICOM youth ambassadors and leaders. It's an invaluable opportunity to deepen our understanding of the links between climate change and health, explore innovative solutions, and strengthen our collective resolve to address these pressing issues. Climate change is not a distant threat, it's a present reality with profound implications for human health, for livelihoods, and for our well-being. From rising temperatures and extreme weather events to changing disease patterns and food insecurity, the effects of climate change are far-reaching, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations, including young people, indigenous communities, and marginalized groups. Our young people will have to grapple with the consequences well into the future if we fail to take effective action today. We therefore need to ensure that young people are enabled to be agents of change with the power to shape a more resilient and sustainable future. This is critical in our CARICOM region, where young people are 60% of the total population. According to the World Health Organization, climate change is already causing a range of health issues, including, and we've heard some of them mentioned today, injuries, heat-related illnesses, mental health challenges. Climate change is exacerbating existing health challenges such as vector-borne diseases like dengue and Zika, which are more prevalent in warmer and wetter conditions. Rising sea levels and coastal erosion threaten the homes and livelihoods of coastal communities, while changes in rainfall patterns and availability of water contribute to food insecurity and malnutrition. Moreover, the loss of biodiversity and the degradation of ecosystems further undermine the resilience of our communities and our ecosystems. The CARICOM Secretariat plays an important role providing leadership and guidance in addressing the complex challenges posed by climate change. We thank our partners, the Pan American Health Organization and the European Union, for the financing under the 11th European Development Fund project and their ongoing partnership so that we can address some of these critical issues. We have been making significant strides in advancing climate change adaptation and mitigation efforts within the Caribbean community. including the establishment of regional frameworks and policies and the implementation of community-based initiatives and awareness campaigns. However, there is much more work to be done, and the active participation of young people is essential to drive progress and foster positive change. I am pleased to see that young people have already begun to lead the change. As we heard from Michelle earlier, 2 former youth ambassadors have implemented innovative waste management projects. Commendations are due to Dwayne Hendrickson from St. Kitts and Nevis and Renee Atwell from Trinidad and Tobago for their exemplary initiatives addressing climate change and health challenges within their respective communities. Their projects help to raise awareness among their peers about vital waste management actions to conserve the beauty and bounty of the environment with which our region has been blessed. As a result of these initiatives, some 40 young people in both countries were actively engaged in efforts to mitigate the adverse effects of climate change. This has inspired more of our youth ambassadors to develop their own national projects, and this workshop will help to share the information that analyze the proposed projects. Third mention, declaration of youth in the Caribbean community. This was issued by CARICOM heads of government in 2010. Many of you in this room would have been little things at that time. This on the critical need to engage young people in our national and our regional development strategies by fostering youth participation. The community at that time clearly stated its intention to, and I quote, support policies and programs to engage the creative intellect and energy of a diverse youth population in facing the challenges of globalization and the CSME, and to develop national and regional youth governance networks with clearly articulated roles. Now, those of you who have not read the Declaration of Paramaribo on the Future of Youth, I encourage you to read it. One of the things that we would want to do a little bit better in the community is to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do. So if we are not doing things, please let us know from your point of view how we can do these things better. The need for collective action to address the complex challenges facing our communities, including climate change and health disparities. The initiatives of Dwayne Hendrickson and Renee Atwell exemplify the spirit of the Paramaribo Declaration, highlighting the transformative potential of youth-led initiatives in driving positive change. As we continue this journey together, I implore our older folk, and I can say that because I would be among the top 1% of the older people in this room, I implore our older folk to harness the power of youth leadership, innovation, and collaboration to address the dual challenges of climate change and health. Let us amplify the voices of young people who bring fresh and different perspectives, creativity, and passion to the table. The Secretariat, and I say this with no expectation of contradiction, the Secretariat is committed to fostering meaningful youth engagement and empowering the next generation of leaders to act on climate change and health, and in fact, on a range of issues with which the region is challenged. We will continue to strengthen our own capacity in the Secretariat to meaningfully work with young people. We will continue to create opportunities to bring young people together, not only to impart information, but also to listen to you. Youth ambassadors, youth leaders, I encourage each of you to approach this workshop with an open mind, a sense of purpose, and a commitment to action. Together, old people and young people, that intergenerational conversation has to happen. Together, we can create a region where every individual, regardless of age, regardless of background, can work together and support each other in finding solutions to the growing challenges of living healthy lives in a healthy environment. This is urgent and this is imperative, so let's get on with the work. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Dr. for your words, for all this here when we say that we will hold you accountable and you can hold us accountable together. So before I introduce Shaq to come and give the vote of thanks, I am going to respond to Dr. Brown's call to action. Since this whole program, the whole project is about intergenerational connections, what I want y'all to do is intergenerationally, for me, take selfies, as Dr. Brown asked. So after the vote of thanks, we're gonna have a group photo, but what I want you to do is look across the aisle, look next to you, find someone who's not in your generation, and take a photo with them. Dr. Brown, I call on you. We're gonna do ours together. I have my ring light ready and everything. So that's what we're gonna do after the vote of thanks and after we take the group photo. Yes, good? So we'll help you. All right, so to give the vote of thanks, I am introducing Shakim Howell. Okay, so I'm getting. Okay, introducing Shakim Howell, the CARICOM Youth Ambassador from Barbados. He's also the Vice Dean of Information, Communications, and Innovation, and he is the incoming Dean of the CYAP. Shakim?
Thank you very much, Tashafa. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I move the vote of thanks for this occasion of the opening ceremony of the Climate Change and Health Orientation and Training Workshop being held here in Guyana at the CARICOM Secretariat Headquarters. And without further ado, I would like to just thank the Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, for giving us the keynote address, and all others participating this morning in the ceremony, including the Minister for his special distribution of our care packages. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Vogman and Dr. DePia, who are the trainers who were assisting us with our training this week and were always facilitating us along the way. So CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, can I please have a round of applause and youth leaders for these persons? And then I would like to thank Ms. Michelle Smart-Bartley and her team of professionals working here within the CARICOM Secretariat and Headquarters, and all those who are on the media team. Round of applause for them as well. And then I think that we can agree that the entertainment piece was one that moved us very deeply, and we can really move a round of applause for those two young ladies. And before I leave, I just want to say thank you, the audience, for being here with us today. I look forward to engaging with you throughout this workshop session, and do have a wonderful morning. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have a brief break, and at that time, we're going to have our group photos and reconvene within another 20 minutes or so. Thank you.